There is plenty of strut back in Jamie Evans' stride these days, but 2 years ago, on May the 11th, this confident young rider collided with mortality.
Second last, they jump it and land together. Georgie's son in front, led by a better neck to Lord of Oakbank, and then again got his chance. Oh, Georgie's son tried to run off. Georgie's son tried to run off and threw the rider, and it's the Lord of Oakbank in front. Now he's got it shot to pieces.
I didn't really realise what damage I'd done until I was laying on the ground, and I was a bit annoyed because I knew I was going to win the race, and I was laying there thinking, you know, Christ, there's a winner I've thrown away. Well, not me, the horse. And I tried to get up and walk, and I kept falling over, and I just must have thought I banged my head. But then I looked down at my leg and it was twisted around the other way. Then I knew I was in strife.
Real strife. His right elbow was replaced by a metal plate, but it was his mutilated left leg with compound fractures that had the medicos shaking their heads.
After that, the doctors came in and told me over the next couple of days I was going to be out of action for at least 12 to 18 months, which didn't set in too good. You know, it's you sort of virtually your whole career gone. And I just laid there for days thinking, you know, what the hell am I going to do?
What he did was display an unbelievable amount of courage to get his broken body back in the saddle in just 6 months. Some question whether his nerve could possibly have survived the trauma. Others, like trainer John Leake, knew the answer.
He's got so much determination, people would just say that, oh, well, he'll be back. He's like a fighter that's been knocked out of the ring, he'll get back in again.
But I was young, you know, eager, determined to get back, determined to prove my critics that I weren't finished, because I did have a lot of critics. You know, it's funny.
What were the critics saying?
Oh, you know, you're crazy if you come back. Why are you coming back for? You know, you're tempting fate. You know, you're half dead and you're trying to come back. You won't make it back. And the more they said that, the more determined I was to get back.
What followed was a fairy tale run of success. Jamie had changed. He was more focused, even more determined, winning the 5 featured jumping races last year, including the Grand Annual.
They're 8 in front of Dunrow, the 89 winner coming into it now. 8 lengths into Bush Asset, Amritsar, and further back Blackton Boy, Apollo Magic, Waldara. Second last out. Over they go. Vinci.
In my way, I think he's come back better than ever. I don't know what it is, but I think once you've been through the pain barrier and you find that it's not as bad as what you really believe it is, there's no obstacle in your way, then you just keep on going, and you don't worry about anything that can happen to you, you just keep going.
And Vinciamo looks to have the Grand Annual won. Here he is, the grey flash. Last of 33. Over it brilliantly. He's home. Vinciamo, 10 in front, holding Dunrow. Into third placing Amritsar, Bush Asset, Blackton Boy, but a magnificent win to the grey staying steeplechaser Vinciamo. Vinciamo by 12 lengths. Second is Dunrow. Like the great theatre that the Grand Annual provides, Jay Evans would never give up. A courageous jockey and a courageous horse.
Courage. That was a quality that nobody questioned, even when Jamie was a promising young flat rider that nobody could control. Epsom trainer Kath Smith took him on as an 18-year-old apprentice after the wild one had drifted from master to master.
She laid down the law, but I got along better with her because she was a woman than a man, sort of thing, you know what I mean? And I think that was the turning point in my career. She was a very good master. She taught me a lot of things, you know, not about racing, about life in general. And, you know, I probably owe a lot to her.
Is he pretty cocky? Is he pretty confident about his own ability? I mean, does he let people know?
I think he does, and I think that's what makes him a good rider. You know, you've got to believe in yourself, haven't you, really? Especially in a game like jumping riding.
So you think that cockiness helped?
I think so, yes. Takes him a long way.
This is a fantastic battle. Hip Flash the inside on Normal John. Here's the last hurdle now. They both take off and land together. Hip Flash with a neck advantage over Normal John. There's nothing
Since the
between
fall,
them.
there have been more highs than ever before. The Grand National Hurdle was another notch in Jamie's belt. He's represented his country overseas with distinction, and this year was nominated for the sought-after Racing Personality of the Year award. But his is not a personality that everybody loves.
He's very popular with the punters because he gives them such a great run for their money, and all these horses come up very short on the tote and they're very short in the betting ring, and he's popular with the owners and trainers because he's had so much success for them. But within his fellow jockeys, he's been sent to Coventry a couple of times over some rather, you might say, injudicious remarks made about his riders.
The young rider makes no apologies.
A lot of people say that a lot of the guys I ride with don't like me very much. I mean, that's good, you know, if they don't like my personality, I'm not out there to show them I've got a good personality. I'm out there to compete, and if they respect me as a jockey and as a competitor, well, like I respect them, well, I'm happy with that. They don't have to like my personality because I'm not out there to be, you know, create the good bloke image. I'm out there to win for my owners and trainers, and that's all that matters.
They're away and racing now. With the third in comes Zamo.
Renowned for his honesty, Jamie also takes a big stick to those who try to get jumps races banned.
There's a lot of critics who say it's a brutal sport. How do you react to that sort of criticism?
If I think you're a horse and I said to you, you've got two alternatives, you know, you can either have a jumping career and take a small risk, or you can go to the knackery where the only thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to get your head cut off. You know, what would you say? The jumping people, the last thing we want to see is our horses get hurt. Well, it breaks our hearts because, you know, we love our horses. The last thing we want to see is them get hurt, and especially me being a rider, if a horse does a somersault and I'm on his back, there's a big chance I'm going to get hurt as well. So the last thing I want to see is a horse fall. Don't get me wrong, these horses get looked after very, very well. They get 3 meals a day, they get rugged, they get the dentist to them once every 3 months, they get farriers, vets. They get looked after better than some of the kids on Flinders Street Station, I can guarantee that.
There is plenty of evidence that Evans does nurse his horses as much as possible in these gruelling races.
He's a wonderful judge of pace, and he picks the right horses to ride. He's a great judge of what to get on, and the horses go well for him. He's very kind on the horses, and he lets them do their best work at the end of the races.
Wouldn't you, boy? You would have been gone long ago. Huh?
Look at the finish of the Great Eastern last year. It was a race that will always be remembered for the horrific images of Simon Mills being dragged ragdoll-like around the course.
The rider was unseated in third placing, battling on there. Oh, he's still with that horse. He got dragged over the next fence, that rider. He's caught in the irons, unfortunately.
But in the end, there was also a gallant grey and a gutsy jockey making history.
Team Wolf is very tired. Vinciano is coming down. Team Wolf's flying. Vinciano flying. Team Wolf hanging on now. Vinciano's got it. He got very tired, Team Wolf. And Vinciano got home. Well, Team Wolf had the money spent on the...
He's such a little guy, isn't he?
Oh, he's only tiny. I mean, have a look at him. You think he's a pony. But, you know, he jumps. He's probably one of the safest jumpers I've ever rode. Just doesn't matter what size they are, as long as they've got a big heart, and this horse will probably have to have one of the biggest hearts I've ever rode. All he knows how to do is try. You know, and a horse like him, he deserves a chance, doesn't he? Just have a look how kind and gentle he is. So, you know, if there weren't no jumping racing around, he'd probably be in a Canada Powell or, you know, over in Asia somewhere. Who knows? I don't think he'd be alive.
Yeah.
And just because, you know, he's not fast enough on the flat, I think we owe it to the horses to give him another chance, and that's what jumping's all about. As I said before, you know, we don't take their lives away, we give them a second chance.
The 23-year-old has plenty of ambitions. One of them is to ride in England and Ireland, where jumping is not regarded as racing's poor relation.
They love it. The Royals are involved in it. The Queen Mother is one of the biggest supporters of jumping in the world, and you wouldn't say she was a cruel woman. Prince Charles rides over jumps. Princess Anne rides over jumps.
Good steel going up on the outside. There's no pace on here at the post.
But for now, he just wants to make sure that winning streak continues.
At 23, it's a great age. Most jump jockeys really fire from age 25 to 30, and he's really got the world at his feet here.
It's a very competitive world, especially the jumping. There's not that many jumping races around, and everyone's hungry, and you've got to have some sort of pride in yourself and what you do. There's no point walking around saying, you know, if only I could be number one. You've got to try and climb the ladder and get to number one.